All right, so the first one we have is Avalanche. So the way I like to trade is I like to start off with the higher time frames. For cryptocurrencies, I'm gonna want to go as far up as I can possibly go. Like you see that there's not even a lot of data. There's just a few candles, but so far I would say we are in a strong bullish trend. And this is the 6 month time frame. So each candle you see equals 6 months. So 6 months of July 2020. Then we go to January 2021. Then July 2021. This is the beginning of January 2022, so on and so forth. So we see the 6 month is bullish, and that's wonderful and that's beautiful, but there's not a lot of detail there. So the next time frame down, each candle is 3 months worth of data. What I can see already, like if I were to break this down to its bare minimum, I know that price history repeats itself. So what I'm looking for is areas that acted as resistance, because I can assume that maybe at one point in time, price will come down and act as support and then continue from there. And that's usually the story of what happens. So bringing everything back into a formation, I can go ahead and highlight this entire area of demand. And you see price just came into that and is currently rejecting that. So now we go down to the monthly time frame where each candle equals 1 month. So far, we have this clear break of resistance. As you can see, we have, in other words, this is kind of what we're expecting. Acting as resistance before, going to come down, act as support, and, continue to look for higher lows to maintain this bullish trend. Because that's the pattern of price. So since we're just now leaving this, we have 6 days until this monthly candle close. If this monthly candle closes as an engulfing candle, meaning this bullish candle actually passes the close of this current bearish candle. If we get that, then there's a really high chance that the following month after that can continue bullish. So yeah, I do think this is a pretty strong pair, especially on the higher time frames. I feel like whenever this 3 month candle closes bullish, the following 3 months after that will be a very bullish 3 months, unless we start consolidating before we then do that. But overall, in the higher time frames, yes, bullish. I agree. Avalanche. Yes. So 6 months, we see we're currently more bullish than bearish. The 3 month time frame, I have more data. I can see that price currently use this level as resistance. You see a bearish candle, see a bullish candle, goes back to being bearish. So I dragged out my trace. Actually, I can just get rid of everything and do it over again. I'm going to highlight this area where price previously acted as resistance, and I can assume it's not going to act as support, and so far it has. So if I go to the monthly candle, what I'm seeing is basically price was resistance, we broke above it, and now this is a typical break and retest. We came back to this level, and we did as exactly what was expected. We turned around from this area, came back, and well, no, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that. Her neck broke. Too sad. There we go. So we came back down to this area of liquidity and we continued bullish, which is what, price repeats itself. So right now is not an ideal time to get into more buys. However, when price in a few months start to close like this, when you start to see higher lows forming, when it looks like it's time to get out, then you're going to want to start getting in for more buys. Even this is a level right here that I could see. Just let me make that darker. So on the smaller time frames, I'm going to go to where each candle equals a daily candle. If you start to see price breaking support, there's a very high chance that price is going to come back in here. Once price comes in here, you're not going to take blind buys, but rather you're going to want to wait for higher lows to start forming first. So then you can wait for bullish momentum to start showing itself. So I can even put an alert, so I can get a notification when price comes to this level, and then we can see how price reacts. And now for Stellar, a monthly time frame. Going to the highest of highs, there is higher lows forming, higher low, higher low. This candle closes in 4 months. So if in 4 months we close bullish, there's a high chance we can continue bullish. But for now, where are we on the smaller time frames? We're at a level of support. I will say that. I think the following candle can actually. This is already showing signs of a bullish transition on the weekly. This right here, we have a lower high, came back up. What did it do? It broke this previous lower high, came back down to support, and is now creating another higher low, which will close in 6 hours because then that's when the following week begins. We have this higher low, which is the ideal thing you would want to wait for when it comes to looking for a bullish transition. So it's support being formed and it being higher than the support that was previously formed before it. So I think that, yeah, even right now, the next few months, I feel like price could probably reach this area. This area. Right here. So 1400. That's a possibility. On the monthly time frame, 3 months, it's the same in every single crypto because I think we're all following Bitcoin. So at the end of the day, we're more bullish than bearish on Bitcoin. So I feel like, I mean, just look how it is forming. In 1 month, in 6 days, if we close bullish, or even if we close down here, if we're still having all this wick, we're more than likely going to go to the upside because we're rejecting all this to the downside. So that's why I think all of the major cryptos are following. All of the altcoins are following Bitcoin, which is usually how they move anyhow. But yeah, for this last one, I have the exact same bias, except maybe what I would like to see before entering in this is a higher low. So we have it's coming down here. I want to see a higher low form first. I want to see another bullish candle and then a bearish candle. Also, yeah. I would want to see support formed on the weekly first before I get into any long-term buys. But once that happens, that'll be a solid transition for price to continue to go back bullish. So yeah, that's my analysis for all of these. I think these are pretty good cryptos. They look like they all have long-term growth.